I'll send you a text. Good evening and welcome to Lambert Park for semi-final football. The equation is simple: win and go straight to the grand final next weekend. And for these two teams, reaching that final game has been hard work in recent years. For our hosts APIA Leichhardt, they've reached this stage of the final series for the third year in a row. And for the 2 years before this one, they've been knocked out. Meanwhile, for the Stingrays, they reached the finals for the first time in a few years. And it's been a long time since their last grand final. One of these teams is going to the big dance, and one is going home. It's semi-final football for you on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel in the NPL New South Wales women's competition. My name is Will Constantinides, and it's a pleasure to be here at Lambert Park in Sydney's inner west on what is a big night for these two clubs. For APIA Leichhardt, it's another home final, and for the Stingrays, it's one of the biggest games they've had in a little while. And for both these teams, they certainly know what is at stake and a chance to end their season on the last game of the season. Let's run you through the team news very quickly, starting first with the home side, APIA Leichhardt. Brad Attard's side, well, they had heartbreak here last weekend, and they'll be looking to avoid back-to-back weeks of heartbreak. They lost 2-1 against the Rams, as the Rams ended up lifting the premiership on Lambert Park. And there's a couple of big inclusions to the starting lineup, just the two changes for Brad Attard. He brings in Natasha Pryor and Ash Crofts. Both were on the bench last week, and both continue their push towards full fitness, which he hopes they might just reach at the right time of the season next weekend. So the full lineup for APIA goes like this. Number 3, Tanya Barazio. Number 6, Mona Walker. 7 is Charlotte Lancaster. 16, Estelle Fragale. 17, Angelique Christodoulou. 18, Sophie Hoban. 24, the captain, Charlotte Young. 25 is Paige Hayward. 90, the keeper, Sally James. And 4 is Natasha Pryor. 11 up top, Ash Crofts. Now, as for Illawarra, they come into this one in better form than their opponents, it must be said. 4 games unbeaten, but they did pick up 2 draws in their last 2 games, so they're looking for the killer blow here tonight. A 1-1 draw away at Olympic, fellow final rivals Olympic last week, which was a hard-fought point at Kogarah, and they make the 2 changes. One of them is forced with Hayley Taylor-Young in suspension after a straight red card. They bring in a very capable replacement in her place, a like-for-like as well, with Alex McKenzie, number 3. Also re-included to the side is number 23, right in front of your screen, Sienna Silvesca. Note that she's wearing a face mask, so she's only just come back to the side as well. So keep an eye on how many minutes that she plays. As for the Illawarra Stingrays, their rest of the lineup goes like this. In goal, number 1 is Sophie Emery. 4, Amy Dekimura. 7, Chloe Middleton. 8, the midfielder of the month, Sakura Najima. 11, Danica Matos. 14 up top, Siobhan Edwards. 15, Caitlin Cooper. 28, Sophie Christopherson. 39, Poppy Hooks. And the 2 new inclusions, 3 is Alex McKenzie and 23 is Sienna Silvesca, as Ash Crofts is interested and immediately starts the press for APIA. This is a game that these two sides picked up a win apiece during the regular season, and they were high-scoring games too. So expect the fireworks to really start in this one. If we do get a goal early, these two teams know how to score against each other, and they've been good in the goals this season, as Crofts has a sight on goal, and that comes to nothing. And for these two teams, it's knockout football, unlike the NPL men's competition where the top 2 might get a week off. It's top 4 finals format. Straight to the grand final. As Lancaster wins the head and links up with Crofts, who again looks for that half pass towards Sophie Hoban. It looks like Sophie Hoban has been shifted out wide with the reintroduction of Crofts. Hoban was playing as a number 9 last week in their loss to the Rams. Of course, Ash Crofts, this is just her second game back after sustaining a really serious rib injury. Foul, either one of Mona Walker or Angelique Christodoulou going too strong in the back. And the Stingrays will get the chance to march forward. Christopherson picking up the foul there for her side, and they look to go early. Poppy Hooks tried to switch the play, but only found the chest of Sophie Hoban, who has a nice turn of speed here. And she drifts inside, but her pass is picked off by Silvesca before Young mops up the dirty work for her side, and now Christodoulou can turn. And you have a feeling that between these two sides in midfield, that's going to be the battleground. We'll talk about the respective midfields of these two teams and who is there, there are some pretty big names in there for both these two teams, and it's where a lot of the magic has come in the regular season. As Hoban looks to ride the challenge of Jackie Moore, and she's won the foul. And now APIA Leichhardt will have a good chance here nice and early. Look at these two teams and the lineups they have for Stingrays in midfield, the likes of Chloe Middleton, Sakura Najima. Keep an eye on the role that Sienna Silvesca plays as well. She's dropped in a couple times already. And then meanwhile for APIA, you have that midfield three of Mona Walker, Angelique Christodoulou and Estelle Fragale. As Lancaster drives her shot into the wall. Puts another shot back in. It's deflected away as Cooper lets that run out of play. And APIA will get another chance, this time from the corner. And immediately it's Charlotte Lancaster with that left-footed delivery. You know what's coming with Charlotte Lancaster. That left foot is so lethal. In comes the delivery. It's towards the near post. It's not cleared initially. And then it bobbles its way out. And APIA get another corner. And that was a dangerous one that was swung in right on the near post. Probably could have got much better delivery on it from Charlotte Lancaster. Was in exactly where it needed to be. And somehow, some way, it almost found its way into the back of the net. Here comes the second attempt. Again, it's towards a similar position. And it's gone all the way in from Lancaster. What a start to the semi-final for APIA. It's an Olympico from that number 7. She was in the side that knocked them out last year in the semis. And now she's given them the goal that gets them 1-0 up. And a spectacular start for APIA Leichhardt. The perfect start from their perspective. And taking a look at the replay on the stream, it's Charlotte Lancaster again. It's right towards where Emery is. And Emery couldn't tip it over the bar. And instead, it's APIA Leichhardt who take the early lead. Here she goes again, Lancaster. And well defended by Alex McKenzie, just to halt her progress, but ends up conceding the throw. And in games where scoring first for these two sides has been so important, we saw the Stingrays do it earlier this season when these two teams last met. It was taking the lead and then holding on to that lead and denying APIA chances. That was the key to their win. As here goes Lancaster, or sorry, Croft should I say. Here is Lancaster now for APIA. Looks to float that ball in, but this time Emery isn't interested. And I had a chat to Brad Attar, the APIA coach, before the game, and he really emphasised how important it was getting off to a strong start and keeping things clean for his team. And I don't think he could have hoped for a better start than that one. Less than 5 minutes gone, and you have the lead at home. We know the Stingrays do have goals in them. When these two teams met, Stingrays put 3 past APIA in a 3-0 win. That was down in Illawarra, though. As Barazio takes over here, slides the ball wide. Hoban in a familiar position, looks for the cross. Middleton has to flick it out and seen away eventually as Edwards is looking to pounce on that bouncing ball, but Fragale brings it under her control. Here is Hayward now. Lancaster. And it's been cheaply given away here by APIA as Silvesca needs no invitation. You can see there she's got that face mask on. I wonder how much that might be impacting her. There's a late challenge by Middleton on Christodoulou. Two former Wanderers. Chloe Middleton most recently with Canberra United. Here's Christodoulou now. Natasha Pryor. As Hayward is blocked by Christopherson. Hayward still has the ball to her feet and just gets it tangled up. And you can see that hand of Paige Hayward is strapped. Christopherson looks to flip that over the top, but Edwards was just a bit behind the play. And just on Paige Hayward, she's been a really important signing for APIA when they lost Claudia Chico through injury. They needed a replacement fullback, and Paige and her motor is up there with some of the best in the competition. She seemingly doesn't run out of breath. You can see she has that right hand strapped. Speaking to Brad Attard before the game, he said that she actually underwent hand surgery during the week. A pretty serious slice. And so a couple of walking wounded out there between Crofts, who's coming back from the rib injury, Hayward, who's got that strapped hand, and Silvesca, who is wearing the face mask. It's very difficult. It just goes to show you put it all on the line for finals. As Pryor uses Lancaster to try and play out, as Walker is looking to get the other side of Middleton here. Goes back to Chris Sadula, who almost coughs up possession. Najima was hunting for possession. Dekimura has been played out wide here. Can go one-on-one with Barazio. This time it's the APIA fullback who wins. Young goes for distance on the clearance. And Cooper will retrieve for the visitors. And as mentioned, for the Stingrays, they come into this game in arguably the better form. 4 games undefeated. Before that. I need to show plenty of resilience in this one. They've got plenty of time though. That's, I guess, the double-edged sword of conceding early, is it can be a really big hit to your momentum at the start of the game, but equally it gives you plenty of time to come back, if they can manage the lead, that is. As James receives, takes no chances. Lovely play from Hoban just to flick it over the corner, and now she helps out Christodoulou, but there is Najima. And the midfielder of the month for the competition wins us. APIA will certainly have their hands full with Najima. As in comes the delivery, it's looped up as Pryor nods it down relatively calmly, considering the chaos that could have happened in the box for Walker. And Walker is tripped up by Silvesca. And she's told in no uncertain terms that after just 10 minutes that the referee for this evening isn't having any of that. Here's Pryor. Up, and Hayward has won the second ball here. Middleton comes down with it, and that's Chloe Middleton. Extremely industrious in midfield. It's been a big part of why the Stingrays have had one of their best seasons in recent memory. Here she is on the ball now with Silvesca. Now, Stingrays have numbers on the left. If Dekimura can swing the play wide, and she did, but the pass was just underhit for one of Edwards or Matos. And now with Matos pushing up further forward, it allows Hoban to try and pick out Crofts. Instead it comes back out for Fragale. And speaking of fantastic seasons in midfield, Estelle Fragale has had a breakout year for APIA. She was in the team last year. She was part of a midfield 3 that featured Hoban and Policina. He's one of the more junior players in that team, but still one of the younger players in the midfield, but has taken a bit more responsibility in build-up. You'll see her dropping deep as the game goes on to try and progress possession. Here's Hayward now. As Lancaster is told to come short, and it's a great tackle there by Mackenzie, filling in well at right back on her return to the side. The pass was just a little bit under hit, but it still might be in play here as Christopherson has gone the other side of Pryor, who was asking serious questions about a foul and just took her eye off the ball there, Pryor. Usually Such a tidy defender. Almost allowed Christopherson to find a dangerous cutback had it not been caught there by Sally James. Stekimura jumps over the challenge of Fragale. They're trying to keep it in on the sideline. Play continues for now. Now there's Najima. And the Stingrays have won themselves a foul. Sorry, a throw. And it's been a very fast start to the game. Just over 12 minutes gone. It's still APIA who lead 1-0. And if you joined us late, it was an Olympico from Charlotte Lancaster. Crofts has found Walker, and there's one more pass available for Lancaster, but they couldn't find it. As Emery clears, Lancaster looks to latch onto it, but instead it's Mackenzie who throws herself at the ball in hope of trying to connect with Sophie Christopherson. We'll see who takes the throw here between Hayward and Lancaster. Looks like it'll be Lancaster. I think Hayward with that hand might be taken off throw-ins for the time being. Understandable, of course. As Walker plays the ball quickly to Christodoulou, who tried to play Crofts with back to goal. And by all accounts, speaking to Brad Attard before the game about the fitness of Ash Crofts, last season's Golden Boot winner and gold medal winner, the awards night as well. And now APIA have coughed up possession here, and Edwards has stayed on side. It was Saveska who was offside. She left the ball. And now here is Saveska. APIA again, just a little bit of a switch off there in defense, which the Stingrays almost pounced on. And now it's there's Matos. Linking up with Cooper. Easy call for our referee. The handball on Estelle Fragale. It's Lara Hogan who's in the middle tonight. And then we have Stephanie Hilton and Samantha Newell as their two assistants. And then the fourth official is John Parker. Towering headed by Young, but it's intercepted by Middleton. And you can see how quickly these two teams are trying to press each other in midfield, knowing that that's where the battle will be won. As Christopherson has her progress impeded by Hayward. Mackenzie to take this deep throw here for the Stingrays. Sylvester checking in short. Heads the ball, Sylvester. Bounces for Christopherson. Still on the edge of the area here. Najima turns, fakes the shot. Decides to get to the byline instead and create the cross. It's a good one too. Has to be cleared by Pryor. And Hayward looks up and assesses what she sees ahead of her. And got the call from Fragale to play it sideways. Walker. Stingrays were insisting that Walker got the final touch, but it'll be an APIA throw instead. And again, it's Hayward who elects to leave it. Christodoulou. Fragale. Pass is taken away by Middleton, and both teams struggling just to make things stick for the time being. It's being quickly given away between the two of them as they exchange passes in midfield. That time it's Walker who just calmly plays it back to James, as APIA will try and build out from the back here. Young had to be quick, and Stingrays forced her into an error, but Middleton just stepped on the ball at the vital moment, and now Crofts was racing away down the wing had Mackenzie not stepped in to intercept. Possession changing hands so quickly between these two teams. sensing that if they allow the other team to get into their defensive structure, the moment might be lost and the opportunity might pass them by. Young. And you sense that if Stingrays are to go into the air continuously this evening, they might find it difficult against the centre-back pairing of Charlotte Young and Tash Pryor. Two of the taller central defenders we have in this competition. Mackenzie left it behind, but made up for a mistake. Canberra United defender, Alex Mackenzie. One of a fair few of the Canberra contingent in this Stingrays team. Dekimura had Chris Saduluano back in immediately. It's another example there of the two teams pressing each other as soon as they receive it in midfield. You have the feeling that if APIA allow someone like Amy Dekimura or Sakura Najima to turn and play forward, or even Sienna Silvesca, when she drops off the defensive line, that could spell danger. Hoban only has Crofts ahead of her, not much in the way of support. Waits for some to arrive, and here is Walker. Middleton and Christopherson. And there's Hayward. Again for APIA, she had a pretty decent game against the Rams last week, Paige Hayward. In a game where there weren't too many bright spots for APIA, she made one really big goal-saving challenge at the end, which kept the score at 2-1. Najima plays it back towards Hooks. Now it's Stingray's turn to build out here. Swinging it from right to left. Cooper is hounded, but almost well improvised there by Matos. Brauzio has shown the sideline, and it's given away here as Edwards was again hunting for another error from the APIA defence as Walker went in strong, and then it was Hooks who went in strong, and now for Lara Hogan and her referee team, just a bit of housekeeping to do and just keep things under control. Early pass forward as Hayward has made a good run here, but it's well spotted by Christopherson, who, even as the winger, knew that she had to track back and do her defensive duties. You just see off screen right now, there's a three-way conversation between Young, Pryor and James about how they go about eliminating some of these errors that have crept their way into the game for APIA. And for someone like Siobhan Edwards, who is very good at pressing the defensive line, that is something that she'll wait for, as it's flashed wide of the goal by Fregale. And Hoban puts her hand up in recognition of a decent half shot, half cross. Again, that loose ball from Stingrays. You can see they know that APIA might have a couple of errors in them. Here is Hayward now. As Walker takes a tumble, and Middleton thought she won the throw, but instead it'll be going APIA's way. Crofts into the box, and just didn't settle there for Crofts. And despite coming off the bench last week and probably not full fitness, still bagged herself a goal, and that is the quality that Ash Crofts brings to this APIA team. As Walker plays the triangles with Fregale. Hayward has her immediate options shut down, and she has to hold possession instead. Here is Young. Neat little first touch to eliminate the press of Dekimura. And Barazio gets forward again for the second time this evening. Loops the ball into the box. And it's hooked away from danger by Alex McKenzie. Again, Stingrays, you can see how well they are set defensively. Knocking away any first options that APIA have and forcing them to play passes that they might not be comfortable with. And the result of all that is they've got the ball back to feet. Poppy Hooks looking for that crossfield switch, and Edwards just drifted offside. And so just under 25 minutes gone here at Lambert Park, and it's still that 1-0 lead for APIA, that Charlotte-Lancaster goal is the difference. And APIA have probably had the better territory of the two teams. They've certainly spent more time in Stingrays' half, but Stingrays have really looked dangerous on some of these errors. And this game is a matchup that definitely has goals in it. They've had 10 goals between them in their two meetings this season. As semi-finals go, they always tend to be rather cagey affairs, won by slim margins. There's McKenzie looking down the line for Christopherson. Lancaster fulfilling her defensive duties and plays all the way back to James in goal. Hayward, smart pass around the corner as McKenzie clatters into Lancaster rather agriculturally. Hooks puts it back into the midfield where Fragale can't get control of the bouncing ball. And now Stingrays, this might be a good opportunity for them. Here it is with Middleton. Goes to her right with Christopherson. In comes the cross. And that's a bit too close to Sally James, but that's positive signs for the Illawarra Stingrays. They certainly have avenues to goal. They've looked pretty decent down this right side with Christopherson looking to challenge the defence with her pace. Looking to make use of Siobhan Edwards as well centrally. It is a fast Stingrays attack. Battle on the far side with Matos winning it back for her team as Young sends it forward. But again, there's no one winning the 50-50 for APIA. Ricochets in midfield with Walker. Now here is Hoban. Crofts with more hold-up play, this time with Cooper, and she strikes, and that had real power behind it from Ash Crofts. Got good direction on the shot as well, and she made a sweet connection with that ball, looking to catch out Sophie Emery. Fragale, pass is picked off. Sadulu couldn't get it away from Najima, who takes on two defenders and plays a pass forward, and it's a good one towards Dekimura. Dekimura cutting inside, and Barazia with just enough pressure to make that shot difficult. APIA will trust themselves, playing out from the back. Cooper. Now Danica Matos. Cooper can turn and has the experience to drive forward in towards midfield. As now Edwards looking to get the other side of Pryor, and that's great defending by Pryor. And just keep an eye on that from Caitlin Cooper. She does love getting the ball to her feet and adding another number in midfield. She played a lot in midfield last season for the Stingrays. She's one of 2 players in this Stingrays team who were in the last grand final that they were in. As Dekimura tries to head towards goal, had good direction on it, but didn't have enough power. And the Stingrays continue to knock on the door of this APIA goal in the last 10 minutes. Christopherson. Lancaster, just too many numbers in the way for her, is now Najima, who's rarely been seen on this right-hand side. She's favoured the left a little more in the opening stages of this game. And now APIA have to be careful they don't box themselves into the corner. That's what the Stingrays will try to do. And it's a good press there by Christopherson to force them into the deep throw. APIA will get another throw, but it's in a position the Stingrays will be comfortable with. If they can win possession back quickly here, an early cross might be on. And I think they might have just stepped off a little too deep there, allowing Pride to receive, but you can see the benefit that they'll now accrue. It's with Sakura Najima. Great challenge by Walker, and Christodoulou has her head up, and an ambitious pass forward to Crofts will be easily taken by Caitlin Cooper. She joins midfield once more. Here is Caitlin Cooper. Edwards asking for the pass. Instead, she shifts it wide towards Christopherson. And the first time pass didn't connect. But still, it's the Stingrays who have the ball. Looking to continuously build towards the goal here, the visitors. First grand final since all the way back in 2013. APIA are yet to make an NPL women's first grade grand final since their promotion in 2020. And so for these 2 teams, a grand final will be a really massive occasion for the 2 of them, as it is for any team, but certainly for these 2. James is pressed. Pryor takes no chances and just hoofs it forward, sensing that the danger was building on the APIA goal. And with 15 minutes to go in the first half, it's the Stingrays who have their foot on the ball and have a nice bit of pressure building. I hope they can get one back before half-time. Dekimura is hounded by 2 APIA defenders, and Army Dekimura shows all her class. Silveska looking for that ball over the top, and again, if the Stingrays are to go into the air, they'll have to be sure of their passes with the another APIA attack easily dealt with by the visitors. Young. Brazio goes back to a captain. And again, it's the Stingrays who break up APIA. The last 10 minutes have certainly seen the Stingrays do a good job of not just holding on to the ball, but winning it back especially. That's been the key. Pass was just a bit under hit for Matos, but she'll still take it again with the throw. Edwards goes to ground, looking to win her side a foul in a good area, but she's done just as well to win a throw. Floated in. This will test James, and it's onto the roof of the goal. Danica Matos, I think, was the one who launched it towards James. It was the Liberty A-League All-Star, almost scored a spectacular goal. Matos off the back of a great season for the Wanderers, and returns to the Stingrays again. And that's what the Stingrays do extremely well. They have a great core of players that they build around each year. And after finishing 6th last year in first grade, they've had a couple of good signings and built towards finishing 3rd. Sylvester shifts the ball wide towards Army Jekimura. Cooper spots the overlap of Matos, but just a bit behind her there. And we spoke about Caitlin Cooper being one of 2 Stingrays players to play in their last grand final back in 2013. That was against the Marconi Stallions, which they unfortunately lost on that day. The other player was a young Chloe Middleton. Just goes to show how important Middleton has been to the Stingrays. Her and Cooper, 10 plus years of service each, especially in the NPL, where it's not uncommon for players to move between clubs. But for the Stingrays where they are, they have such a big regional presence. And it's brought them a lot of success this year. Great first touch by Lancaster. And Christopherson felt that the last touch was off Hayward, and the challenges have been flying in as that one's over the top, and Crofts might be in play here. She hasn't seen the ball in a little bit, and it'll roll away deep towards the canteen end of the ground. We'll see whether Lancaster opts to launch this one into the box. Goes short. Here is Fragale. Lancaster. Another good left-footed delivery towards the back stick. Emery came and did catch. And Hoban was making that run at the back post. Couldn't get her head towards it. And APIA Leichhardt get a decent sight on goal. Aside from that goal that we had in the opening few minutes, there's been no real big chances. Even the goal from Lancaster. Yes, the corner is a scoring opportunity. But scoring direct from a corner, they are rare, but they're good when they happen, the Olympicos. But other than that, it's been a very tight game. No big chances that you feel that either of these 2 teams have wasted, that they should have put away. Lancaster, another half-decent first touch, and she does well to keep it on her toes. Now she's sent into the corner by Hayward. McKenzie goes in strong and goes in clean. And that's been a fantastic battle all afternoon, Alex McKenzie and Charlotte Lancaster. And when Lancaster was in the semi-final last year, she was with the Bulls FC Academy, and they played APIA at this ground. And it was the Bulls who got it done. She knocked out APIA last season. That might have played a bit of a factor in why they signed her. She's brought plenty of quality to that left wing. A pure left footer as well. Christodoulou will deliver this one. Another in-swinging delivery this time for APIA. Christodoulou onto the 6-yard box it goes. Crofts was rising. And we'll see which way it goes. It looks like it'll be a Stingrays goal kick. And for the Stingrays, this is their first final in 5 years. Their last final series was back in 2019, and that was when we had the 5-team finals format. Just the top 4 now. And they were defeated in the semis then, and this season has been certainly one of their best, certainly their best since 2018, where they finished second. So to finish third isn't easy in this competition, especially when you look at all the teams that missed out on finals. Some good teams in that pack below fourth, as James thought about coming and just let Pryor nod it back towards her. And that communication at the back will be key for APIA to eliminating some of those errors that we saw in the opening 25 minutes. spoke to the Stingrays coach, Steve Gordon, before the game about the occasion and managing a final, and he said it was all about his side playing their natural game and just playing with confidence and enjoying the occasion. As James clears that down the sideline. It's certainly hard to have business as usual in a one-off knockout game, but the Stingrays, they certainly would have been hoping for that. He said he was happy with how his side took the lead and sustained a bit of pressure from APIA in their last game to hold on to a dominant 3-0 win. That's good play by APIA to find Christodoulou. Fragale, reverse pass to Lancaster. Cuts inside, then goes back from where she came. A low-driven cross. Here is Crofts, turns and shoots, and it's almost bundled in by Walker. And somehow Sophie Emery has kept that out of the back of the net. She made a great save at the first attempt to deny Crofts. And then Walker on the follow-up, who thought that just by making connection with the ball that it was going to get past Emery. And Emery just threw herself in front of it to deny Walker. And APIA will be thinking, how have they not taken the lead? A 2-goal lead. And taking a look at the replay, it's classic target striker work there by Crofts. Deep in the box with back to goal, getting it onto her favoured foot. A good shot. And then Walker was there on the follow-up. Just couldn't get it over Emery, who has kept this at 1-0 for her side and has kept them within touching distance. And so looks like all is well. Danica Matos and that's Tanya Barazzi on that far side, just shaking hands and shaking it off. APIA now with the throw. Just over 5 minutes to go in the first half. We might have a bit of stoppage because of that injury delay just a moment ago. Spirit Young steps in to stop Edwards from receiving and denies them the counter-attack. Crofts has spotted Hoban, who's made a good run in behind. It's Lancaster who's at the back post. Advantage played, says our referee, and that'll bounce, and that'll stay in there. Good keeping by Sophie Emery. Crofts. Christodoulou didn't get the call that a player was coming behind her. That was Sienna Silvesca. Hayward finds Walker in midfield, and if APIA can just get their foot on the ball as they move it wide, it's well defended initially by Mackenzie, but the touch will invite Lancaster, and it just bounces and rolls down to Sophie Emery. Hooks. And now it's APIA's turn to try and press their opponents as Crofts has just about won it back. Her and Walker team up on Cooper, but Cooper under pressure still has it with the Stingrays. Now it's Fragale who gets in front of Najima and goes down and wins her side a foul. And that's smart work there by Estelle Fragale. Just got her body between defender and ball and enough contact in it to warrant the foul. And now APIA will try and go 2 goals up just before the break. Christodoulou tasked with these left-sided set pieces. There's plenty of tall timber to aim for. It's low and it's driven. As I think Pryor and Young collected one of the Stingrays defenders, and now they all go to ground as Christodoulou strikes just over. And just a collision of bodies in the box. And it's the Stingrays who now can get possession again. And referee Lara Hogan is doing well to keep a lid on proceedings. A few niggly fouls in the first half. These final games, they can get tense, and I'm certainly glad that I'm calling the action out here. Crofts wins the header, but only towards Cooper. APIA force the Stingrays long. We try to take the throw right in front of our commentary position. As we back onto Marion Street in Leichhardt. In the last 10 minutes or so, the game has really slowed down, which APIA will probably prefer as a team in the lead, although they'll be hoping to make it too, as this is what Mona Walker does, driving forward, goes to ground. It's with Sophie Hoban. Looks to get the other side of Matos. Still with Hoban. Walker on the edge of the area. And that's good defending by Sakura Najima. And Silveska combines with Siobhan Edwards. And they try and play the 1-2s between themselves, but the APIA midfielders track back. And they win it back, those Stingrays, as Silveska just goes for a hopeful shot. And Sally James will be hoping for more of the same. And these two teams, take a look at their goals scored and goals against. It's for good reason they're here. Stingrays have the second most goals scored in the competition. Or second least goals conceded, should I say. One of the best defensive sides in the league. Just 34 goals conceded over a 26-game regular season. That's a very handy return. APIA not too far behind with the 37. They were Jackie Moura. Her header only finds the feet of the APIA defence. And now, with just a couple minutes remaining in the first half, that's of regulation time. We might have some time added on. Middleton strong in midfield. And her side can reap the benefits now and go forward. But again, it's APIA who are doing well to shut down the Stingrays' attack. Big height mismatch there between Young and Dekimura. Great turn by Mona Walker. Slides wide for Fragale. Christodoulou. APIA showing confidence in possession. Barazio looking over the top for Crofts. It might just sit here for the APIA striker. Still with Ash Crofts. Fashions towards Lancaster, but it's taken the sting out of the cross by the Stingrays' defence. And still APIA looking to spend the last couple minutes inside the attacking half as Fragale turns in a dangerous position. And that's the end of the first half here from Lambert Park. An early goal from Charlotte Lancaster and Olympico. That's the difference at the break. And APIA have had a couple of chances as well. One to Crofts and another to Walker just a moment ago. Meanwhile, for the Stingrays, they have plenty of avenues to goal. A couple of half chances, preying off some mistakes from the APIA defence that they hope will continue as the game stretches out and defences start to tire. I've been Will Constantinides with you for the first half. We'll see you back soon on the other side of this quick break. Back to the second half here at Lambert Park. The game is finally set for what will be a very big 45 minutes. At the end of this, one team might be going to the grand final, one might be going home, or we could be set for some extra time. Still that Charlotte Lancaster goal, the difference at the break, and Olympico, a spectacular way to fire her side into the lead. And now we get set for a mammoth 45 minutes ahead. Which of these two teams will be going to the grand final next week? And a rather anticlimactic start. With the ball just going out of play, it'll be the Stingrays that'll get play restarted. Walker looking to feed Lancaster over the top. Had good ideas on the pass, but it was well read by the Stingrays. Christodoulou. Great first time ball down the line by Barazia, but there is Danica Matos. It's been a very entertaining matchup between Matos and Hoban. As Figale checks her shoulder, knew that Edwards was coming. Up goes Barazio, and Young has it on her feet, can go centrally and spotted the pass to Fregale. And now Pryor will go all the way back to James. James, who just recently signed with a new club, Canberra United. We'll join a few of these Stingrays players as teammates over in the nation's capital. James, who was with the Glory last season, spent time at Melbourne City as well. And she'll go in with a decent chance of taking that number one keeper spot. Something that she hasn't really had at her other clubs. It was behind former APIA player Morgan Aquino at Perth Glory. Silvesca on the top of the box for the Stingrays as it's touched our referee, and that'll be a drop ball. Young. Crofts has dropped short to receive and immediately just knows that Hoban will be there. And here is Hoban in the corner waiting for some support. Goes along the ground towards Walker. And it's cleared away by the Stingrays, but a great first touch by Fregale to keep the attack going. That's a bright start by Apia. Hoban. Ball in towards Crofts, and it's knotted in, and it's just wide of the goal by Ash Crofts. And she almost made her goals in back-to-back weeks upon her return from injury. And she's showing no signs of a lack of fitness. She wasn't far away. She's scored plenty of headers this season, Ash Crofts. She's a great striker in the air, and that time she almost directed it into the side netting. Fregale is hounded by the Stingrays, and again they resume that press. Hoban. Again, it's read by Matos, and Matos was sensing the outside of the foot turn was coming from the Apia winger. Pryor has to go all the way back to James. And Young has Edwards on her back, and that's calm defending. Calm play out from the back by Young. James just waits for something to present itself and swings the ball towards that left wing where Lancaster is stationed, but it's one in the air by McKenzie. And here is Christopherson, who continues much as she did in that first half, marauding down the wing. Silvesca strikes, and it just sat up for her so perfectly there, Sienna Silvesca, on that favoured left foot. And she can hit them with real power, Sienna Silvesca. Sydney FC forward didn't see too much game time with the champions in the last A-League Women's off-season. She's had an injury-riddled NPL campaign as well. A player with so much talent and so much promise. Can really strike them, and don't put it past her to just let one fly from the top of the box. And now Edwards has gotten just around Pryor, gets it tangled up, and there's Hayward backing up her central defender. But APIA don't clear their lines, and then a few cries of fouls. I think both teams felt that they were owed a foul. Instead, play continues, and APIA have a good counter-attack brewing potentially, as Crofts puts it and keeps the attack moving for Walker. It's really end-to-end stuff here. It was Dekimura who went down in the box after coming together with Young. And it was Siobhan Edwards who almost got the other side of Tash Pryor, couldn't find enough space to shoot. And there was Paige Hayward backing up her central defender to stop any danger towards James. And now Fregale will just go all the way back to her keeper. And APIA, they'll try and settle things down. APIA forced out over the sideline. And for APIA, right now, if this scoreline holds, this would be their first clean sheet in 5 games, sorry. Haven't kept a clean sheet since in some time. More than 5 games, actually. It's their defense that has conceded a couple of goals towards the back end of this season. As Hoban spots Lancaster peeling out wide, awaits for Crofts to arrive as extra support, and now Hoban is one-on-one to make it 2, and just didn't get the connection on the strike. It was such a well-worked move by APIA. And Sophie Hoban, she knew that that was a good opportunity. You could see the immediate reaction. And that's calm work from the back by Barazio. So much composure there under pressure. And Hoban looks to continue that time with Walker. That one's too close to Matos, but it'll flick back here as Crofts was interested. Caitlin Cooper using her experience just to try and settle things down now from a Stingrays perspective. A couple of minutes ago we were saying that about APIA, how they needed to try and regain a foothold in this game. Cooper uses Matos. Christodoulou is pressing from midfield, but Cooper splits the press towards Najima. And Sakura Najima, this first meaningful touches of the second half, hasn't seen too much of her since play resumed, and she'll be key if the Stingrays are to make a comeback. Lancaster. It almost found its way through to Crofts, and it might have taken a touch on the way through. It didn't. And that'll be a goal kick. And whilst we have this break in play, we might just take this quick moment to update you on who's on the benches for these two teams. That could play a factor as the game goes on. For APIA, the backup goalkeeper is Sophie Magus. They have defender Teal Kilbride, Brinley Gentle as well, Mia Golding, Gisela Pepino, and the youngster Zoe Panagopoulos, highly rated by APIA. It's headed backwards. And Cooper, brings it under her control and decided to take the risk. But Sophie Emery wasn't willing to do so and just sent it out of play. Meanwhile, for the Stingrays on the bench, we've got Kayla Austin, who has goals in her up front. We also have Genevieve Nisbet, Adelaide Thompson, Daisy Canavan, Ella Giles, and Brooklyn Hudson. Hudson, who scored a few weeks ago back against the Northern Tigers. Kayla Austin also scored in that game. So there are options on the bench for Steve Gordon if his side are to go about getting this all-important equaliser. For how tight this game has been, if it gets to 2, especially in the second half, the longer it goes on, it will be a very difficult task for them. But for now, it's just at 1. And some big defensive work there by Sophie Christopherson. Middleton, first time ball forward as Pryor. Now has it. And it's coughed up again by APIA. Najima, quick turn of speed, and it's actually a 4-on-3 here for Stingrays. Great defending by Fragale, just providing defensive cover with Hayward a bit further forward and Pryor joining the midfield. And they needed Fragale there. Are we about to have a sub? It doesn't look like it just yet. 55 minutes gone here at Lambert Park. It's still Charlotte Lancaster's goal that's the difference between these two teams. Najima. Army Dekimura. Still with the Stingrays. Najima was looking to play with Edwards back to goal. And now it's Apia's turn. They have the counter-attack. Hobin's bursting forward to join Crofts. Walker looks for that sweeping ball across the back line, but it's a bit too close to Sophie Emery. Stingrays will come again. Now it's with Edwards. This time she receives and gets around Charlotte Young just about. Still with Edwards. Now she's on the edge of the area and was looking for some support out wide, but Army Dekimura had drifted inwards to make a run towards goal. And Najima was just a little bit behind the play, offering a deeper option in midfield. And it looks like we'll have a substitution. First of the game, understandably, comes from Steve Gordon and the Illawarra Stingrays as they go about chasing this game. And so Siobhan Edwards goes off, and we'll get confirmation in just a moment of who's coming on. Hoban, deflected cross in. It's taken away by Poppy Hooks, and Matos has a second go. Lovely ball forward. That one will be a bit too close to James, who had to take the chance and play out with her feet. There's Brooklyn Hudson making an immediate impact coming off the bench with those fresh legs. Foul on Fragale against Middleton. And so the fresh legs of Brooklyn Hudson replacing Siobhan Edwards, who service was hard to come by for her, but one thing she did do was continuously press the APIA defence, so we'll see if that continues. McKenzie takes it herself. Dekimura's out on the far side, but just a bit overcooked on the pass. Cooper adding an extra number in midfield with her side chasing the game. Great challenge there by Christodoulou. Still stayed in. And in the end, it's Christodoulou who comes away with it. Oh, it's given away there by Fragale. That's an uncharacteristic turnover from her. And Silvesca again looking to cause problems up top. APIA will just clear their lines, and with the lead standing at just one, they have to be careful, APIA, that they don't let the state of the game and this lead dictate how they play. They won't want to sit back against the Stingrays, who, as we spoke about in the first half, have had plenty of chances on goal and can certainly hurt teams if given opportunities. You sense that the APIA front three has become a little bit disconnected from their midfield, relying a bit more on the counters. A great turn by Hudson and couldn't shake away Walker. And Dekimura has won it back in combination with Hudson. Army Dekimura Floated ball into the area. Middleton got a toe on it as she tried to flick it forward for Christopherson. Looks like Christopherson has actually switched and made her way over to the near side, now on the left wing, previously on the right. Hudson looking to make her fresh legs an advantage, but that's smart defending by Young, just to not dive in, not fall for any tricks. As the Stingrays will continue their march forward. Over an hour gone now, into the final half hour of regulation time. And APIA holding on to this game just by the 1-0 lead. So they look to book their spot into a grand final. Hoban just gets penalised for the indirect foul. He's sitting on the ball. She protests her innocence, saying she couldn't go anywhere, but that's a textbook call there for the officials. Poppy Hooks swerving a ball towards Matos. Bouncing around in the air. Walker inviting the overlapping run of Barazio, but Christopherson had it scouted. And now APIA get forward, but again it's broken up quickly by the Stingrays defence. They've pinned APIA back in the last 5 minutes. Christopherson. Here is Hooks, and again she resumes her, Hudson, she resumes her battle with Young. Hudson. Cheeky flick back towards Dekimura. They almost got their wires crossed there, the Stingrays, but it does work out. Christopherson, who's gotten to the byline, looking to win herself a corner. And which way will it go? It'll be an APIA goal kick. Much to the protest of the Stingrays, they felt that the ball only went out because it came off Young. Christopherson, I think, might have overshielded the ball there. She just let it run a bit too much. But the intention is there from the Stingrays. You can see what they're building towards. Sense now in the final 25 minutes, this is where things will get really chippy. So keep an eye out for the fouls. We might see a couple of cards. Pryor takes no chances. And again, APIA have to sustain another wave of the Stingrays' attack. It's been some time since they got down the other end of the pitch. That chance to Crofts and Hoban. Hudson. Middleton bursting forward from midfield. First time ball is in, and it's into the arms of James. Christodulu has to move possession on quickly, and now the numbers have opened up for APIA. Advantage played. Walker had a pass taken away by Dekimura, who knew that they were going towards Hoban. Another substitution coming from the benches. I think this one will be for APIA. And we'll see who is coming on. Christodulu, nice turn, and has played Lancaster into a good area here. But Matos using her speed. It's so hard to get around Danica Matos. Here comes the first substitution of the game. This one for APIA. Looks like it'll be see who's Oh no, it won't be a substitution. They won't do it just yet. They'll wait maybe till the next out. Last touch off Crofts. It'll be a Stingrays throw. It might be Pepino by the looks of things on the far side, of receiving her final instructions from the APIA coaching staff. A reminder that we will have extra time if needed and penalties. Stingrays needing that equaliser right now. Still plenty of time, still 25 minutes. Hudson almost with the fancy flick to keep it in. Lancaster there with suspect foul, but it's legal, says our referee, Lara Hogan. And now, APIA are interested in the press. Crofts is there, and Emery had to sweep it away from danger. It was Hooks who just underhit the pass a little bit, and Ash Crofts in a one-on-one opportunity. We'll certainly have loved that, and a chance to make it 2-0. Floated in, and Middleton knows that Walker is coming, so hurries the ball on. Barazio has a bit of space to work with centrally here, but they give it away. Fregale. 2 Stingrays for company, and the numbers of the visitors win out. Christopherson can get the other side of Fregale here, and might have spotted Saveska, but just couldn't get the pass towards her. And Hoban pressing Hooks, hunting for the ball. Hooks being shown this way by APIA, and shows the defenders a clean set of heels to beat 3 defenders. The pass was intercepted, but it stays with the Stingrays. Matos down the line for Christopherson. Pryor is in the one-on-one opportunity and wins that duel. Matos with the ball in. Sally James has spotted that cross early. And she's had a good game between the sticks, Sally James. Hasn't made too many miraculous saves or anything like that, but has just been solid with her distribution and claiming crosses especially. That's what she's been called to do. And in the first half, when they were looking a little bit shaky in terms of playing out with a couple of errors, she pulled in more experienced Young and Pryor just to sort things out. And since then, APIA haven't really had any turnovers when building up from the back. Pryor has her back to goal, and we'll just dribble that over the sideline. Pepino looks like she's still waiting to come on here. She's been stood on the sideline for a couple of minutes now. We'll see who she'll come on for, as Pryor will shepherd it out of play and win her side a goal kick. So that substitution comes now, and it's going to be Ange Christodoulou. Her first season with the club, and she's a pretty decent season in her first year, coming across from rival Sydney Olympic. And in a battle in midfield, she's been key. And now they throw on Gisela Pepino. So this will be a bit of a reshuffle for APIA, but won't be too many unfamiliar positions. It'll be Hoban who drops into midfield, and Pepino who will take Hoban's position on the wing. Great flick on by Crofts, and Pepino might have something to chase here in her first involvement off the bench. Stays in here for the Stingrays. Saveska. Barazio allows the ball to bounce, and Christopherson is in with a chance at winning it, but it's well won back by the Stingrays. That one from Ami Dekimura. Cooper has joined the midfield. Stingrays looking to go quickly. Dekimura, Christopherson. Back to Dekimura. Stingrays showing patience in possession. They know they've had the majority of the ball in the second half. See how much this APIA defense is tired as we enter the final 20 minutes of this one. Well spotted by Najima. McKenzie takes it forward, and APIA defense aren't pressing her, so she keeps going, and now she joins the attack. Cooper. McKenzie has come all the way back from centre back and has put enough pressure on Young or Pryor to force it out over the sideline. As James had to claim and claimed under pressure. And Christopherson went in a bit too strong there for Lara Hogan's liking. And so with Hoban going into midfield, it looks like Mona Walker, who was operating as the more advanced of the three midfielders, is now in that defensive midfield position. Both the benches have made just one change. The first was Siobhan Edwards coming off for Brooklyn Hudson, that one for the Stingrays. And then APIA just recently replaced Angelique Christodoulou with Gisela Pepino. And so the backup keeper on the bench for APIA is Sophie Magus, who's played a lot of first grade this season, particularly in the early part of the season. And beyond that, has played first grade for APIA, so she's, in terms of a backup keeper, one of the more experienced that you can rely on. Always difficult being thrown in as a backup keeper into the game when you haven't warmed yourself into the state of the game and the flow, and especially in a semi-final, that's always difficult. But it looks like James is all right to continue. And gets play restarted once again. Goes along this time and easily picked off by the Stingrays. Silveska uses Middleton, who's adopted a bit more of a wider role in the second half. We've seen her drift wide to be an extra option. On occasion it doesn't work out. And for APIA Leichhardt, they are 20 minutes away. Stingrays, they had a moment in the box, but again, it's the bouncing ball that won't sit up. There's Christopherson pressing the fresh legs of Pepino before it's sent forward by Barazio. Najima linking up well with Hudson, the substitute. Now it's with Christopherson. Back to Cooper! And over the bar for the Stingrays. In what was a golden opportunity in the second half. It was well worked between Hudson and Christopherson, and Cooper made the extra run through midfield that wasn't tracked. Crofts was running through, looking to take it off the toes of McKenzie as Hoban goes in too strong on Middleton. And the Stingrays aren't pleased about that challenge from Hoban. Hoban resumes her battle with Middleton. Those two have been physical all afternoon. This time it's Middleton who wins out. Hudson sliding pass towards Silvestre, who can hit them from range. Cooper. This is patient build-up from the Stingrays. They're not going to be rushed by APIA. Back to Silvestre. Great creative pass towards Cooper. And the Stingrays continue to build pressure here. There's still plenty of time. 15 minutes of regulation time plus stoppage time, which I'm sure there'll be a decent amount of. Lovely turn. As Walker went to ground in the box, took the risk on Hudson. And Stingrays are rewarded with a corner. A rare corner for them. If they can make this one count, they'll be back at 1-1. They'll have the momentum behind them with 15 minutes to go. Silvestre to deliver. It's in towards goal, and it's on the roof of the net again. Another close one for APIA at the back. No doubt Rams and Olympic will have a keen eye on this fixture to see who they might potentially play next weekend. They've got their semi-final tomorrow. So we've got 20 minutes of this one left to go, plus potentially extra time if the Stingrays can get an equaliser. Christopherson. Good recovery run by Barazio, but it's still with the Stingrays as Christopherson tries to turn each way. Has Dekimura to help her out. Hudson, who's been a good change since coming on. He's great on the ball, but has it taken off her by Pepino, who has fresh legs herself. Pepino shrugs off the challenge. There is Crofts. He only has Pepino with her in support, and a great challenge going to ground was Poppy Hooks. And I think Brooklyn Hudson has gone down in back play here. And APIA are about to make another sub themselves, it looks like. Lancaster, can she do it again? It's another good ball in. It's a bit deeper this time, and no one was attacking it at the far post. And that means that the Stingrays can clear. They go long. Hudson's the only player up top. As Hoban wins the second ball. Gets around Middleton. Those two have seen plenty of each other tonight. As Cooper sees Najima is arriving, but elects for the more patient option in Christopherson. Hooks has Middleton, and that allows Matos to get forward on the overlap. Stingrays getting numbers to join. Silvestre looking for that curving ball towards Matos, but it doesn't pay off. And Hudson has looked so assured on the ball since coming on. Middleton gets around Hoban. Here is Cooper, and it almost connected there for Matos, who joined the front line there, the right back. Stingrays throwing everything at this to keep their season alive. Hooks calls for the long ball to go towards Christopherson, but it just bounces and it'll float up and right above us. And that's gone onto the roof. And we might need a new ball. APIA grounds and operation staff will have to go and collect that one. Plenty of balls go over the stand behind us onto the main road. As Crofts, that's tidy work to sell her defender. And Stingrays will get the ball out soon enough. Here is Hooks. Emery. Cooper battling with Hoban. Stingrays with a really extended spell of possession. In the last 20 minutes, they've had almost all of the ball. Just need to make it count. They had a big chance through Cooper, and they might have another one coming as that ball just bounced away from Christopherson. And now APIA will just take a little bit of time off the clock. Slow things down from their perspective, but there is still a lot of time remaining and plenty for the Stingrays to find their first goal of the evening. Still waiting for that second substitution from the APIA bench. It hasn't come just yet. Entering the final 10 minutes of regulation time. Middleton out towards Silvesca. Hudson turns on the ball and evades a couple of APIA defenders. Couldn't slide that pass towards Najima. Pryor senses the sideline is near and takes the chance. It's still in though. Eventually it did roll out in the process. Here comes that sub now. Actually, looks like it'll be a Stingray sub rather than APIA. So Dekimura comes off. She's had a good afternoon working down the wing. And in her place is Kayla Austin, who has goals in her. Does add another attacking option. Cooper wins it in the air. Can her teammates win the second ball? Pepino is there to help out APIA. Her and Najima getting tangled up, and now Middleton and Hoban resume their battle. And Middleton did win the foul and had a bit to say about it as well. And haven't reached boiling point just yet, but as mentioned, this is a game that has plenty of intensity about it. Back it goes to Hooks, using Cooper. Just waited for Crofts to make the move so that she could use her centre-back pairing in Alex McKenzie, who now swings the ball towards Christopherson. Great first touch to bring it under her control. Christopherson! And she did so well. A long ball forward, a 30-metre pass, brought it exactly down where it needed to be. And there's a right footer shooting on the left side, was trying to finesse it into the bottom corner. And I think Barazio might have taken a bit of a knock here and trying to defend. And this will be a tough one for APIA. If she is to go out, she's been such a big part of their defense this season, Tanya Barazio. Looks like she's going to try and walk it off here. Time is ticking down here for the Stingrays to find that equaliser, to send this to extra time and maybe claw back 2 miracle goals. Hooks. Cooper was hounded, had Walker right on her heels. Great vision and awareness by Hooks to spot Matos, who was free. Silvesca. Pass is given away in midfield. APIA will try and go forward here, but Walker gets away from 2 and 3 Stingrays defenders. And that one will go against Walker for the grab on Middleton. And still, APIA haven't made that sub that has been waiting there on the far side, waiting to come on. McKenzie will launch this one into the mixer. Hoban has beaten Hooks to the ball, and Crofts is forward if she could find her. I was looking for that ball along the ground. As McKenzie saw Crofts came off the wing, and now Matos. Again she goes forward, again the Stingrays, another wave of attack in search of this equaliser. Cooper, smart pass forward. And there's a shout here. I think Hudson might have gone to ground a bit too easy there for Lara Hogan's liking. A few nervy moments at the back here for APIA. Stingrays sensing that it's coming soon. James will take a few more precious seconds off the clock from an APIA perspective. 5 minutes to go now for APIA to hold on and for Stingrays to get this equaliser. Great defending by Mackenzie. A great first time pass as well. Austin. Matos swings it into the mixer. Cooper was the intended target. Lovely turn by Sophie Hoban, and APIA have a 4-on-3 here, but the touch was a little heavy from Hoban. And Lancaster and Pepino either side, as well as Croft centrally. As Najima goes to ground, her side a foul there under the late tackle by Gisela Pepino. And the Stingrays will launch it in again, but now that substitution comes. So we'll see who will make way. Charlotte Lancaster, the goal scorer, she gets a deserved early night. And the player who scored 2 goals for the Bulls FC Academy in the 2023 semi-final at Lambert Park against APIA to send Bulls to the grand final and to send APIA home has given APIA the lead. And so far, the only goal of the night. It's launched in again. Walker wins it in the air this time, and we'll come back out here for Cooper. APIA with more to defend. Najima, smart ball over the top. Matos gets into the corner, first time cross, but couldn't wrap her foot around it. As APIA will get more time off the clock. And James will be given the hurry up here by our referee. It'll be added on, of course. We'd be looking at a decent patch of time added on, you'd think, with the injury stoppages we've had. Hooks wins it for Austin. Hayward just hoofs it forward, as giving Croft something to chase, who looks like Ash Crofts might be heading for just about a full 90 after only playing half an hour last week in a return game. Hoban wins it back. And there's been countless fouls between her and Middleton, and between them it's Middleton who goes into the book first. I think if you had to look at one of the statistics on combination of fouls, which player on which player, Middleton and Hoban would probably lead that chart by some distance. They've been at each other all night. Middleton spent last season with Canberra. Hoban just signed an extension with the Newcastle Jets. And Mia Golding, the substitute, has done well here. Hoban goes in strong on Middleton now and add another one to the count. Pepino, that's exceptional work in the air. Hudson, Christopherson splits the defenders, goes between them, but Barazio got back and couldn't get away from Cooper though, but Hudson got away from her. Hudson, the fresh legs, beats a couple of defenders. Here is Sakura Najima. And that final pass, I think she might have been expecting Christopherson out wide there, but Christopherson had dropped back and covered the defense. Into the final minute of regulation time here at Lambert Park. We don't have fourth official, so we won't know how much time will be added on. We're at the discretion of the referees. Stingrays will have at least 3 or 4 minutes, you'd think, potentially even 5. As Christopherson tried to get out of the way, but couldn't. As APIA, mere minutes away from their first NPL Women's Grand Final. A chance to win the trophy that eluded them last season in their treble. Last season they won Club Championship, Sapphire Cup, the Premiership. And he didn't win the championship in the grand finals. There was a nasty stumble here. It was Poppy Hooks who doing everything she can to get the ball quickly for her side, knowing that there's not much time left. APIA might be bringing on another sub, maybe just to take some more time off the clock. Pepino using Hoban. APIA won't want to turn it over here as Hoban gets away from a few defenders and smartly plays Pepino. Pepino looking for Crofts up top, but it's too close to Emery. Christopherson gets over Pepino, but can't get away from Hoban. A clean challenge that time. Advantage played, says the referee. Cooper swings away from the defense and moves it wide for Matos. Great interception by Golding, the fresh legs there as in goes Fragale. Challenge is flying in now as Crofts might have wanted that one to feet considering she's played 90 minutes for the first time in a while. Spirit launch it in towards midfield. Flick on by Cooper. Najima was the closest to it and took it on the chin. And that's a head knock, and the referee has to stop play. About a minute and a half of stoppage time gone. And I think that substitution might be coming for APIA. So Ashcroft comes off in what has been a very hard-working afternoon. Fresh off that rib injury. She played 30 minutes last week and she's gotten about 91, 92 in her tonight. And on comes Brindley Gentle just to add a bit of fresh legs up top and make things interesting in the final couple minutes. There's the Nova Castro number 9. We'll try and fill a role up top and she can bag a goal here. APIA will certainly be through to the grand final. They're only a couple minutes away. We don't know how much stoppage time is left. We do know there's been about 2 minutes gone. Golding keeps play going for APIA. Gentle looking to get involved, but the flag is immediately up. APIA will need to get back quickly and defend here. They won't want to switch off at the vital moment. Semi-finalists in 2022. When they were knocked out at Lambert Park by the Rams. Semi-finalists last year when they were knocked out by the Bulls at home. They'll be on their last legs to defend another Stingrays attack. Young wins it in the air. Middleton couldn't connect. Najima wins it. And APIA, for the first time in their club's history, are going to the NPL Women's Grand Final. Their third consecutive home semi-final, and this time they get the job done. In what was a grueling win from start to finish, the Stingrays pushed them all the way. And it's Charlotte Lancaster's goal in the 3rd minute, the player that scored 2 against them last season in the semi-final, that gets them to the big dance next week. And what a tight contest that was. The Stingrays, they had their opportunities. They really did push APIA all the way. It was a tight semi-final. We predicted it at the start of the game. It was going to be close between these two. But in the end, it's APIA Leichhardt who held on to their lead and defended well, sustained a lot of pressure from the visitors in the second half. And after 3 years of being knocked out, making the semis, they now go to the big one. A big achievement for the club. Promoted, had their first season of NPL women's football in 2020. And after winning silverware last season, after winning the club championship this season, they'll have the chance to take the biggest prize of them all at the biggest game of the season. I've been Will Constantinides. It's been a pleasure bringing you this one, a great semi-final. A reminder, we've got another one coming up tomorrow between the MacArthur Rams and Sydney Olympic. That one to decide who takes APIA in the NPL Women's Grand Final.